Hi, and welcome to Networking Gems and to the guests from Networking Superstars as well. Tonight we're going to focus on how to turbo boost your success and give you some hints and tips on what you can do. And this is going to be based on our mindset. So just get some housekeeping out of the way. First, I wanted to tell you if you want to post a question, feel free to do so. But if you can put a backslash and a Q in front of what you post in the comments, that would be fantastic. And then it'll pop over to the other side of my screen so I see it because I may miss it in the chat otherwise. Also, if anything resonates with you and you're really enjoying what I'm passing, please feel free to give us some props. I'm going to bring on a couple of guests as well, so they've got some great value too to share with you. So how you do give a prop is to just click on the picture that you see of me, and it will show you that you're giving me a little hand up. So if anything that you feel is of value, I'd love to know that by getting some instant feedback from you with that. So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to introduce a concept that you should be familiar with if you guys have been following myself or any of the other Networking Superstars ambassadors, because this is exactly what all of our principle is based around, and that is the law of attraction. So the law of attraction is basically where your conscious mind feeds your subconscious mind thoughts and actions every day, and your subconscious mind reacts to that. What you put out to the world, you attract. Now, it is a law. It's like gravity. So it doesn't matter how much you try to disprove this, all you're going to do is prove it. So if you fill your mind, your conscious thoughts with positivity and desire and all these kinds of great things, you're going to actually feed that into your subconscious mind, which is going to create a vibration and an energy level to you, and you're going to push that out into the world, and that's actually going to magnetize and bring it straight back to you. So basically, what you think about, you bring about. So, don't be negative, don't be disheartened, don't be a bit of a Eeyore in life. You want to try and really pull some positive energy to you, and it's attracting people to you. And that's what the 6-step sponsoring sequence pro is all about. That is how we run our businesses based on this. But that you can take it to the next level, and you can really, really work on your mindset to create a really positive vibe that will hone in on your desires, hone in on what you want, and actually you'll see results much, much quicker, providing you match it with action. Now, I'm not saying you can sit there and meditate for 4 hours a day and expect success to come to you. You still have to be taking action. You still have to be following the 6 steps. You still have to be contacting people, getting on the phone, all these great things. But, if you have the right mindset about it, it's actually going to super turbo boost your success to a new level. So I want you to just put this into a picture to try and explain how it works. You have 2 exact people, same skill set, same personalities, and they go out and they prospect 100 people each. We'll talk about it in prospecting terms because I'm presuming that most of you are network marketers that are on this call. Now, the first person gets a really good result and gets lots of people signed up into their business. The second person doesn't get hardly any results. They did exactly the same things, they had exactly the same training, the exact same skill sets, but what was different about it? The difference was the mindset of the person who was out there doing that. So it's really, really key. Another quick example is that if you've got a sports person who is a champion sports person, they actually have put mindset processes in place to win the race before they've actually won it. So the difference between a gold medal and a silver medal is not necessarily how fast somebody can run, but how they have programmed their mindset to believe that they can win. So we want to try and instill this kind of mindset into yourselves and give you some daily actions that you can do to really push this mindset forward. So I'm going to bring on some guests, as I said, and the first one's going to be Hannah. So I'm just going to unlock a seat, and if Hannah can call in, that would be great. And because she's gonna give her experience on the first set of actions that we can sort of give you to do. So general daily practice throughout your day, I want you to start thinking about every sort of day. Okay, I don't know how I let you in actually.
are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking me on this evening. I'm excited to be here.
Lovely to have you on. So I was just going to say there's some general practices that I want to talk about first before we launch into Miracle Morning. For me, people have to realise that we have some pre-programming in our brain, and unfortunately that pre-programming is not that great. It usually sort of goes around things like negativity, gossip, general moaning and complaining. And people don't realise they're even doing it. So if you think about yourself in the coffee shop at your work, somebody moans about the weather and you moan back.
Yeah.
So it's always a sort of negative thread behind what you're talking about. And the reason that we all feel comfortable with it and we do it is because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
So what I want to really get home with everyone is that they really need to understand that they need to actually consciously think not to talk about that, to eliminate that chat from their life. And that is the very, very first step. Everything else is a bonus. If you can remove all of that from your conversations, I think then it's a hard thing to do because we're already pre-programmed. But if you can consciously do it, then you're gonna. Sorry, just got caught something from typical Scottish example, complaining about the weather. Well, that's very true, Dave. You're with me on that one, yeah. So yeah, bitterness, gossip, complaining. Would you agree, Hannah, that most people are pre-programmed for that?
Yeah, I think it's very natural, and I think that the majority of us, our circle of friends or our acquaintances, it's very natural for everybody to say, "Oh, it's raining out," or "It's too hot today," or "I didn't wake up on time this morning," or something like that. But I think that for me, anyway, I think that you just have to realize that. I think, especially when you're trying to change the way you speak and your mindset, you have to realize that at first you will maybe say those things and you will find yourself saying, "Oh my gosh, it's raining out," or whatever it is that you're saying. But I think that the first step to kind of changing the way you speak is to realize that that's okay, and to think, okay, I've said this, but no worries. I'm just going to change the way I think. Why did I say that the rain is so bad? Actually, maybe it's a good chance for me to go inside and work on my computer or whatever it is. And I think to try and just find a change in the way you say it is really, really powerful. And I think that, what you put out is what you get back. So if you were putting out negative vibes, you're not going to get positive energy flowing to you. And I think, I don't know what you think about this, Laura, but I think that a lot of people maybe disregard the mindset part of building their business online or improving their life or their lifestyle. But I think that it's kind of, the first step to progressing forward with whatever it is that you want to do. So I think it's great that you're doing this online.
Yeah, for me, it's the key secret that people don't realise. They think they've got. It's so important to have what we have set up with Network of Superstars, with the 6 steps and the action steps and all these things. Without it, you wouldn't know where to go anyway.
Yeah.
But once you've kind of got your head around all of that, the growth in myself anyway that I've seen just through focusing my mind and looking at how I can become a more positive person, how I can really hone in, and I'm going to give a couple of examples on this later on, hone in on what I want and my desires and stuff, is actually I've seen really quick improvements. The other thing I want people, I'm going to say a few things tonight, guys, that might actually be a bit of a tough pill to swallow, and I'm really sorry if that offends you, but I want to give you it real because you guys maybe need to hear this, and it's going to be the point that turns for you. So don't take what I say in some sort of weird negative way. Just take what I think, well, how does that apply to me? Okay, because it's exactly what I did when I was listening to some mindset training. I thought, oh my God, and then I thought, well, actually, it's very true. So don't take it. So the first thing I want to say is don't get hung up on your current situation. So many people focus on, oh my God, I don't have enough money, or I'm stuck working 60 hours a week, or whatever your situation is. Try and not focus on the negative side of that and use it more as a driving force for change. And I think if you can do that, if you've got a need and you're very needy, it comes across as desperate, especially when you're prospecting. Whereas if you change that and you turn it on its head and flip it to a desire. So I desire to get away from a 6-hour working week. I desire to have more money. And you start to focus the thought in a positive way, you'll actually get a better outcome from it. So I don't know if any of you have heard of the Miracle Morning. Can I have some comments to let me know if you've heard of the Miracle Morning? Have you read the Miracle Morning? Let me know, guys, in the comments. So yeah, great book. The Miracle Morning was written by Rod Hal. No, I've forgotten his name. That's terrible. I'll put it in my group.
I'm very knowledgeable.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. But there's a version for network marketers that's been rewritten, and it has a lot of great testimonials from the likes of Ray Higdon and all these big marketers. And it takes the principle of network the Miracle Morning and applies it specifically to network marketing industry and how it works for us. So for those of you that don't know what the Miracle Morning is, it revolves around what they call lifesavers. And I'm going to run through, and Hannah's going to chip in her opinions and experiences on applying these. And it's basically about making the effort to make time for yourself in the morning by using lifesavers. So yes, it means you get out of your bed an hour early, but there's ways and means to do that. And it does teach you that in the book on how to make little changes, like moving your alarm clock across the room and turning the lights on and things like that. But the times I've done it, and I am terrible because I've got a bad excuse because I use my child who never sleeps as an excuse, and I really need to get back into it. And that's part of what I'm going to be doing in the 100-day challenge, is to be getting back into my Miracle Morning. But when I was doing it, I felt so much better and so much more energized and stuff. So your lifesavers are S for silence, A for affirmations, B for visualization, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribing. So we'll break them down into each option. So just explain a little bit about each one. So the first one is silence. So this can be really whatever you want it to be. Most of us do some form of meditation at this point. Doesn't need to be for long, and if you haven't done meditation before, I would suggest you maybe use a guided meditation. There are great apps out there. Omvana is one of them that I use, and it's just a 5-minute program just to try and get you centered and focused. Why? Some people use prayer. If you're of the religious content, you can use prayer. Just whatever it is, it's about being present in that exact moment in the day and taking time to just learn through your breathing that you're there and that you're present, basically. So it's going to give you more control over your thoughts. If you can master meditation, it will help you control your thoughts throughout the day, which is partly what you're going to be trying to do. So have you done any meditation, Hannah? Have you tried it? How did you find it? Did you find it easy? Did you find it hard?
I think that sometimes people, the idea of meditation is a little daunting. But I think that, for me anyway, sometimes I just like to take 5 minutes, just complete silence, to just be at one with myself, because I think that, like, I have a lot of things going on. I know you do as well. Everybody else has stuff going on as well. But I think that the key is to just be with yourself and take some time for yourself, because, you know, as you said, it's what will set you up to move forward and get your stuff done. Because especially if you have a few different things happening, maybe you're working a full-time job, maybe you've got a family. I think when you take that time, and even if maybe you don't know how to meditate yet, like it's something I would personally like to get more into, and I plan to get more into. But I think that for me anyway, just taking some time, even if it's just 5 minutes, even if it's a minute, actually, you know, it doesn't even have to be that long, just to kind of take some time out of the busy day and the busy schedule to just think about what it is that you want to achieve, you know, how you can maybe take a step back and maybe make any tweaks needed to help you move forward. But I think just taking those few minutes to just be at one with yourself is really, really powerful. But I'd love to know what your tips are in relation to meditation, because it's something that I have kind of dabbled in a little bit before, but not as much as I would like to. So it's on my list of things to do. But yeah, I think that it's something that's very important.
One of my friends and one of my gems, she actually is one of her group is mostly about alternative life therapy, etc. And she actually recommended the Omvana app. So it's really good for getting started. It's just 5 minutes. And that I started with that. I also use, if I'm not using a guided meditation, I sit down somewhere comfortable but fairly upright, and I just close my eyes. I set a timer on my phone for 5 or 10 minutes or however long I have within my Miracle Morning time. And this is a trick that I was taught by a midwife while I was in labour, believe it or not, to control my pain level and to control my mind, because a lot of labour is about mindset. And my good friend Jade, who's on tonight, will be able to tell you more about that. If anybody ever wants to know about hypnobirthing, go see Jade. But it was basically, she said, find something you can connect with that is to do with you, and it's almost like hypnotic. Okay. So for me, I'm quite a water-based person. So for me, I find imagining the wave coming in and the wave going out while I was in labour, and I found that so hypnotic, and it managed to like totally focus myself, and I actually had very, very straightforward labour because of that. I've transferred the same principle to my meditation, and I almost imagine myself sitting on a beach, right, and the sound of the waves, and the relaxation that I feel from the wave sound and the sun on my body, and because that's my ideal place. That's my happy place, on the beach, Right. So I use that in my meditation, and I just concentrate on that. And the thing with meditation is I've got a very busy brain, and I'm sure most network marketers have a very busy brain. But it's not about fighting the thoughts for me. It's about letting them come in, acknowledging them, but just pushing them to one side.
Yeah, totally.
So for me, it's that, rather than trying to just block out all noise. And as I say, you're only doing it for 5 or 10 minutes, but it's enough to just kind of make me feel grounded and kind of have some me time, which as a mum and somebody who works and stuff, I don't really get a lot of that. So yeah, Omvana, yeah, that's right, Jay. No, OM, type it in.
I think, well, if any of you guys are maybe active, like one thing for me sometimes, because, as you said, you have a very busy mind, I feel like I'm consistently thinking. And one thing that I find is kind of the perfect balance between meditation and exercise is yoga. And I love yoga. I think for me, it's the best way that I can kind of zone out and find that happy place of mind that I can kind of think and, oh, that's awesome, Robin. That I can kind of get into a place of, like you said, not trying to block out the thoughts, but just allowing them to enter your head and feeling like you can maybe action upon them in a more focused manner, as opposed to thinking, oh my goodness, I have so much to do. But that's just real quick. If any of you guys are maybe looking to meditate, but you're not necessarily, I don't know, maybe you just don't want to sit down, or maybe you're trying to, combine two things together. That's why I like it, because it's exercise and meditation. Yoga could be a solution for you.
Another one that, just to throw in, I haven't tried this yet, but I did read as an alternative meditation method, is adult colouring books.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're so focused on it for, get yourself an adult colouring book, and for 5 or 10 minutes just be really present in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And apparently the focus that brings is akin to meditation. So not when I've tried it, but because it would probably be stolen and coloured in by a 3-year-old. But yeah, another one, if somebody finds it just too hard to shut down, then maybe something like that would be useful too.
Yeah, because I think sometimes maybe jumping straight into meditation, if you find it difficult to be mindful and to take a step back, it can be maybe a little bit difficult and frustrating if you feel like you're not getting anywhere with it straight away. Yeah. I think finding a way for yourself to graduate the process, so maybe it's a coloring book, maybe it's yoga, and then maybe you graduate yourself to meditation in the typical sense. And it might find
frozen, Hannah. You're freezing up a little bit, Hannah.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, just a bit. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one, which is affirmations. The affirmations are basically, we all have this mind chatter you maybe don't even realise it's going on. But what I like to call self-talk, where you basically are analysing everything that you're visually seeing throughout the day, and that you're doing and things like that. And a lot of it can be self-talk that's negative. So, you know, being a girl, if I'm trying on a different outfit, my self-talk might be, oh no, that just looks awful. I look fat in that, or, you know, I look too young in that, I look too old in that, whatever. But I'm not actually saying it out loud. It's just all going on in my head, and I just think, oh, next kind of thing. And we need to try and cut that self-talk down to be more, well, the negative self-talk down and boost the positive self-talk. And that's what affirmations are about, guys. So again, if you've tried some affirmations or you know anything about affirmations, please let me know in the comments or give us some props. But I think you just need to get away from being your own worst critic, because I think everybody's their own worst critic.
Yeah.
I see myself completely different in the mirror to probably how you see yourself.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, my abilities to do things, and you know, I'm getting past that because I'm working on myself. But you know, it's been a bit of a long journey for me anyway, because I never really, even though I'm outspoken and I'm loud and I'm bubbly, I didn't have a huge amount of self-confidence for a long time, particularly after I'd had Connor, because, you know, people have heard that story before where I kind of just lost my identity a little bit. So the affirmations for me are really, really important. And basically affirmations are about telling yourself that you are worthy, telling yourself that you are capable, and it's I am statements in life. I am this, I am that, I am a winner, you know. And the more you say it, the more your subconscious will start to believe it. So what you're feeding your conscious mind, as I said, drips into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is what creates emotions and stuff. So if you, for example, if you're picking up the phone and you think you're going to get a negative result from picking up the phone, you've created a negativity with picking up the phone, and your subconscious will instantly increase the level of fear. Fear is not real, but your subconscious thinks it is. So it then puts your body into fight or flight mode, which is why you get physical reactions to fear, like sweating, butterflies, and all these kinds of things. So if you can realign those thoughts again, and that's where affirmations come in, realign the thoughts, feed the positivity, and you can actually make your subconscious believe those things.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Yeah?
I totally agree with you. I think that the subconscious mind is something that quite often we forget about. But really, like you say, if you're getting on the phone with somebody and you're scared of getting on the phone, and you envision a negative outcome, then you are going to attract that to yourself. I think that it kind of goes back to, personally, I think that if you are scared of doing something, I think that one, you should do it, but two, I think that you should be okay with the idea of being scared, but instead of feeling negative about it, feel like, okay, you know, I'm overcoming something here. This is a difficult thing for me to do, but I know once I've done it, I will be able to give myself a pat on the back. I will have taken myself out of my comfort zone, and I will be achieving something new. So I think that it's just a matter of changing the way you look at a situation. And for me, I don't know if you agree with this, but once I kind of started embracing the idea that it was okay and perfectly natural to be maybe frightened of doing something, as opposed to beating myself up, saying, "Oh, why don't I feel like I can do this? Why am I holding myself back?" I think if you just say, "Okay, you know, this is normal. I'm scared because it's something that's going to take me out of my comfort zone. It's going to be different. It's going to be difficult, but I'm still going to take that step because I know it will get me the outcome that I want."
Exactly. I think there's a huge part to being, and it kind of ties into what you just said about being aware of what you're resistant to.
Yeah.
You know, most of us are resistant to different things, and even within your own self and what people say to you, you know, somebody tells you your job well done. Well, I actually can accept job well done quite easily, but if somebody tells me you look nice in that, I find that I'm more resistant to that.
Yeah.
Because I have an image thing, you know. Yeah. And I'm getting over the image thing, but you know, it's one of those things. So if you guys have got pens and paper, I've got a challenge for you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to pose, imagine I'm sitting right opposite you, just Answer instantly. The scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, yeah, I'm totally cool with that, I accept that, I totally agree, and 10 being, this is excruciating for me, I cannot handle that statement. I want you to mark it. And this is totally for your own good, guys. This isn't homework for me. You do this homework for yourself. So how you do this is how you do everything in life. So grab your pen. So the first one I'm going to say to you, on a scale of 1 to 10, you are brilliant. The second one is you are rich and wealthy. The third one is you're creative. Fourth one is you're beautiful. The fifth one is you are amazing. The sixth one, you're worthy. And the seventh one, you are successful. So I want you to look through where your resistance lies to that, because if you've marked anything kind of above a 3 or a 4, then you're pretty resistant to it. And you need to be thinking that you know you're resistant to it. And like Hannah says, you know, accept that you're resistant to it, but how can you change your mindset? How can you change your thoughts? How can you realign your thoughts to become more in line with accepting who you are and that you are a fantastic person and that you're going to be successful? So I hope you all got a little bit out of that. So I want you to think about these things for 30 days, these I am statements. At least. And the reason that we go on a 30-day thing is because, and the Miracle Morning Challenge is a 30-day challenge. If you read the book and follow along with the challenge, is because it's habit forming. It takes over 21 to 30 days to break a bad habit. So if you have a cup of tea and you always have a biscuit with the cup of tea, is always my favourite example because it's the worst habit to break. Stop having that biscuit, but you need to do it for 30 days before it really is out of your system.
Yeah.
And the other thing is if you start thinking positively and you're thinking positively, actually genetically, this has been proven that you're actually coding the cells in your body with a positivity vibe and an energy that's positive. And your body cells take about 30 days to start to renew. So, bit of science there for you guys. So the next one on our lifesavers is visualization. So for me, visualization is pretty important. So you guys all have a dream board. If you don't have a dream board, then basically a dream board is a visual picture, a visual stimulus of different images that are based on your goal list. Now, some of you may have, you want to pay your credit cards off on your goal list. It's a practical thing. I have it on mine. I'm sure pretty much everybody has it on theirs. But you've lived with your credit cards all this time. It is not going to be the driving force to make you succeed. So what you need to have on that dream board is stuff that is emotionally important to you, right? So if you don't like cars and you've got a picture of a car on a board because you feel like you should, it's not going to be effective. Whereas if you have, like for me, I have obviously a little boy, you guys have guessed by now, and I want to take him to Disney. I want to take him to all these places. So that's emotionally connecting for me because I really want to give him the best experiences I can in life. So I have a big picture of Mickey Mouse on my board. I don't know about you. Do you have a vision board, Hannah?
I have got a vision board. I have a lot of pictures saved to my phone though, so I have it more like kind of a folder of images that I like, because I'm big into Instagram, so quite often I screenshot something and save it. Yeah. But I think it's really, really important, and like you said, it needs to be something that really is a big goal for you. Like I think it kind of as well kind of goes back to your why and your reason for doing what you're doing. And I think that you really need to have a really solid reasoning for why it is that you are maybe getting up at 5 a.m. before you go to work to work on your business. Maybe, you know, why you are staying up until 1 a.m. to do it. You need to have something to push you to take those steps that are difficult in order to achieve the success that you want. And for me, one of my big whys is travel. I really want to, like, one of the reasons I'm doing this is so that I can go to all of the places that I want to go because I can, you know, experience those new places. And like, I think that having those visions, so the places that you want to go, I really want to go to Bali, somewhere that's on my vision board at some point soon, because I think that it looks so beautiful and something that really is, like, travel is really, really important to me. So that's a big reason for me doing what I'm doing. And I think that putting those things on your vision board as opposed to maybe practical things like you said about paying off your credit card, it kind of is a bit more encouraging, because obviously we all want to pay off our credit cards, but it's not necessarily something that will make you feel, you know, amazing about your life and get you to where you want to go. So I think that using even Pinterest, like Robin said, that's a great place to.
Yeah, mine's is on Pinterest.
Yeah, and I think just getting it somewhere. I used to have a vision board actually on what's the word? The cork.
Pinboard.
Pinboard, yeah, just blanked, sorry. I used to have a pinboard above my desk with lots of different pictures on that. They work great too, or even you could do like a scrapbook or something like that, whatever it is that you feel like you can look at to kind of give you a bit of encouragement. I think especially though when you are maybe having a down day, or if you're particularly struggling, it's a great way to kind of make you think, okay, I can break through this. This is why I'm doing it. This is what will make it worth it. So I think it's really important to visualize where you want to go.
I got a great tip about physical pinboard or vision board is not to put it in your office space or where you work, because you're motivated while you're there. But to put it where you would procrastinate, which is most people is in the kitchen. So if you're going to procrastinate, what I tend to do at home is go make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So if you've got it in the kitchen, once you've boiled that kettle, the pictures are there, and it drives you back to where you're supposed to be to stop procrastinating. So it was a good tip. The other thing with visualization, and there's 2 tips to this, is to actually start focusing on one thing that you really, really, really desire, and trying and start to imagine it. Imagine that. So if you wanted to go on a cruise ship, for example, you really desire to go on a cruise ship, don't just like think, I want to go on a cruise ship. Think about, I want to go on that cruise ship. What does the deck look like? What are the guys there dressed like? What does the smell? What does the sea smell like? What does the buffet look like? What does the champagne taste like? You know, don't just think, oh yeah, I want to be on this big ship, but just really try and get the senses going with it. So the smells, the sounds, the sensations, the emotion that you're going to have with that. What are your kids' faces going to look like when they jump into the swimming pool on a cruise ship, which is like the most novel thing ever in my head. And you know, all of these things, and to make it an emotional connection, and just spend, you know, a few minutes a day with your eyes shut in a like quiet space, kind of, or even, you know, I wouldn't suggest you do it at work if you guys work, because usually your head's elsewhere, but if you can just take 5 minutes out to think on that. And the other time to do it, and this is a bit of pre-sleep programming, which is another massive tip, is to do that when you're just before you're going to sleep. If you close your eyes and you start focusing on that one true desire that you really want, again, imagine it. Imagine yourself walking along the deck, the smell, the food, the laughter, the shows, whatever goes on a cruise ship, or whatever your desire is, and really connect emotionally. How does it make you feel? How does it that you've succeeded, and you've got to picture yourself having done it. It's not like a want, it's a, yes, it's a desire, but you've done it, you're there. What's it going to be like? Because if you start to do this and you start to put yourself into that position, your actual experience is going to align with it before you even know it. So pre-sleep programming is so important, because if you go to bed thinking about something you desire, your brain is going to actually work that through your sleep. So don't watch the news, guys. Stop watching the news, because it's the worst thing you could ever watch, because it's real. It's not even like a scary movie.
I totally agree with you in that sense. Like, I think sometimes, like, watch the news every night. It would just be on in my house, so I'd watch it. And I used to find myself getting so depressed thinking about how terrible certain things in the world are. And I think obviously it's important to be informed on events, but I think that so often we get so focused on all of the bad energy, and I think that that's not going to do any of us any good. So I actually don't watch the news. I sometimes check it.
I don't either. I dip in and out of what I want to know about.
Yeah.
So, for example, there are elections coming up, so I will be reviewing what the political parties are saying before I go and vote. But I will not be watching the hundreds of hours worth of telly that's about it. I'll just be reading the pamphlets, making a decision and going.
Yeah.
you know, I don't need to know about the rapes, the murders, all these sorts of things that are going on in the world. It's very sad. But if you give energy to that, then you're sucking the happiness out of yourself, you know. Just stop watching the news, guys.
And one story can really impact you. And obviously it's very upsetting, and some of it is just, you know, your heart's go out to people, but it's not fit you or anybody in your circle or people who, you know, you're working with and who you are helping. It's not going to benefit any of them if you allow something to impact you so badly that it really tears you down. And with events happening in the world, you know, it can be really sometimes difficult to stay on track after hearing something. So I think that it's really important, you know, and especially with the internet, we can source exactly what we want now. So as you were saying about elections, if we want to know about elections, we literally go to Google, type in what's relevant to the election, and we can find out specific information as opposed to watching everything plus the elections.
So I'm going to move on because I realise that we're starting to take up a lot of time, but I'm so focused on this, guys. It's like, it's so important that I get this message out to you. So E is for exercise. It's fairly straightforward. Do some exercise, raise your endorphins, raise your energy levels, and get a better health. And you'll probably lose a bit of weight in the process, and get your fitness levels up. You know, if you're not, I'm not saying go and run a marathon. Just do something for 10 minutes, whether it be yoga or whether it be, you know, I like to switch on the Wii and do some Zumba, you know, whatever. Do something that you enjoy. Don't do something that you think, I hate this. Because I'll tell you, I tried to do MetaFit for 8 weeks. MetaFit, for anybody that doesn't know, is high impact training for half an hour. And it just about killed me every week. And every week I came out going, I hate this. When is it going to get any better? When am I going to start liking this? But you put me in a Zumba class or a aerobics class that's more dance-based, and I love every single minute of it, and I probably work harder because I'm enjoying it. So find something that works for you, you know, and as I say, you can always start with yoga if you're not a huge exercise person, and try and combine the meditation aspects of it with yoga. R is for reading. Obviously, we're huge fans of self-development over here at Networking Gems, Networking Superstars. You need to continually grow your mind, so you should always be reading, even if you only aim to, or audio. I'm a huge audio fan. Even if you're only doing it for, say, 10 pages a day, that's still a massive amount of books you will have covered. Have you got any tips for trying to make sure you get your self-development in daily, Hannah?
Well, I think that it can be anything, like you said. I think if you do not like reading a physical book, if you do not like looking at your computer screen, find out what method of self-development most resonates with you. So, for example, I really like video or audio. And I think that's the way in which I most enjoy doing it, because, for example, if I have to read a book, it's going to be more difficult for me to maybe make some food or do something else. But I think that if you can find a way for yourself to maybe fit it in while you're doing something else, so maybe if you are in the car driving somewhere, you could be listening to a podcast, or you could be, have a video playing on your phone and just listen to it. So I think for me, the biggest tip is to find what way you find most enjoyable and most easiest to slide into your daily routine, so that you don't feel like you have to allocate 2 hours to read a book or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, we're all working on really limited time, or most of us are working on really limited time. And one of the biggest points people say is, I've got no extra time. So it's, we all call it the net time. Yeah. And it's about using your dead space. So for me, a lot of the time it's in the car when I'm cooking, like what you say, I'm cooking. I've got, Free Coaching Friday with Ray Higdon on at the same time, or, some sort of audio from Mike Dillard, or, one of the Dan Watchmen or something like that going on, or even a Networking Superstars stuff from the back office, from the blog, just anything to fill my mind. It's going to give you content creation ideas as well, guys. So, you should never be able to say, I don't have anything to write about, because you should be listening to enough stuff. Yeah. Listen to it and instantly go and write something. It doesn't need to be War and Peace. It doesn't need to be a massive story, but you can add value into your community immediately. Yeah. That reading is just going to continue to grow you as a person. So it's really, really important to include it somewhere in your day. But if you can do it in the morning, it's a great way to set it up. And then finally is scribing. Now, I didn't really get this when I first started the Miracle Morning. I didn't understand the point of sitting writing something down. actually it focuses your attention. So it's back to that mind training. And for me, it's about being grateful. So be grateful for where you are in your life. Your current situation, it may not be ideal, but your current situation has brought you to this point. So you may have had a horrible life. I've been very lucky with my life. I've had a fairly easy upbringing. I'm surrounded by love and all the rest of it. But I know other people have had horrible situations.
Mm-hmm.
To try and forgive the past, let it go, and just think about it as, well, it's brought you to this point today, and you're moving forward, and you're on a designed path to do something much better, and you're on that journey to freedom. So you have to accept that. You have to be grateful for it. And the best thing I can say is, in your 10 minutes of scribing or writing, it's just write what you're grateful for. It doesn't matter if you write the same thing over and over and over again. And if you can't write sentences, just write a list of 100 things you're grateful for. How quickly you write your 100 things will show you how close you are to gratitude. So you may find it takes ages the first couple of times because you're sitting going, well, what am I grateful for? I don't know really. But the more you become practiced at this, and the more you truly put your energy into it, the quicker you're going to be able to write what you're grateful for. So do you do some scribing every day, or do you have a journal, or what do you do?
I actually have a page in, I think it's last year's agenda. I have it in here, and I have a page of things that I'm grateful for and what I want to achieve. So I read that regularly. But I think that, you know, writing something down, it's kind of like, or even saying it to yourself, however you want to do it. I think it's really important to express gratitude, because I think that if you can't appreciate where you're at, you can't expect to move forward. And like you're saying, you know, like I was sick for about 5 years. So I went through a pretty rough patch with my health, and that really turned my life upside down. But instead of looking at that time, you know, with, you know, just anger or frustration, I try to look at it in a positive light and think, you know, what have I learned from that experience? How has it helped me grow as a person? How can I move forward from there? Because the fact is, we all have struggles. We all have issues that we have faced at some point in time. And I think we just have to appreciate that it's a part of life. It's a part of our growth, and we should use it to help us move forward. So I think appreciating everything, even sometimes, you know, at the time I did not appreciate what I was going through whatsoever because it was horrible. But at the same time, it changed my path for whatever reason. And, you know, it's taken me to where I am today. And I really believe that everything does happen for a reason. So you need to appreciate those experiences and try to take something from it, no matter how bad it is, and use it to help yourself move forward, as opposed to allowing it to inhibit your growth.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that is the Miracle Morning, guys. It's Ed Hal Ross is the name guy. The guy's name came to me. So if you haven't read it, I really, really highly recommend that you do, especially if you guys are going to be taking part in our 100-day network marketing challenge that's coming up next week. So excited. If you really want to get focused, the challenge basically is going to be a 100-day focus to help you guys grow your business and get some success. Maybe sponsor a few people, or, you know, get some sales, that kind of thing. But we're going to be teaching you a lot of tips along the way. And the first thing that we want you to do is go and read this book. It took me like a day to read it. It's so easy to read. The story is very, very inspiring of the author. And the networking, the one for network marketers, will resonate with you because there's lots of people that you know already talking in the book. You know, like Ray Higdon. Yeah, he's my favourite guy, by the way, if you hadn't worked that out. So, go read the book, and that's the challenge. So I want to say a big thank you to Hannah for coming on and sharing with me and you guys her knowledge on what she's already implemented and how it's improved your business. I'm going to move on. I'm going to invite Robin on now to help me with the next section.
Hi.
So thank you, Hannah. Hang on, this person's calling in. No.
I can hang up if you want. I think I can bump myself off.
Yeah, I think you can hang up.
Okay.
Go.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so right, Robin, let's get you on. Hang on, I can't work out how to do this again. Okay, so we should have Robin coming on in a sec. And we're just going to talk to you guys a little. Hi, Robin.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you real well, thank you.
Perfect. Good, good, good. Hi, everybody.
So, guys, I hope you got a lot of value from Hannah there on the Miracle Morning Challenge and how to implement that. What I want to do is talk to you about just a few other things that you can do through the day and some things you might come up against in your process of trying to move forward with this and implement it into your daily structure and your general thinking. So the first thing I want to talk about is a lot of people have a scarcity mentality, and this is something that you don't even realize I think you have, but on everything that you do every day, especially if you're buying something, you think, I can't afford that. Would you agree, Robin? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And even I still today was talking to Sean, one of our other ambassadors, about this, how I'm trying to overstep this because we got some not brilliant news about my husband's job. He's in the oil industry. Anybody that knows what's going on in the oil industry, we're having pay cuts and risk of redundancy, these sorts of things going on. And basically, I'm looking at different options for holidays and travel this year, and I'm thinking, can I really afford this? What noise is going on in the background, Robin?
Oh, you can hear that? Oh,
I can hear
Shane.
that.
Sorry, Shane, you have to move that.
Your noise sounds like things not working.
Apparently not. I wonder, is it from here? It has to be from here.
Yeah.
Let me just turn it on real quick here. Let me just see. Yeah, it says it is.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So I want you to try and overcome this as best as you can. You know, where you're starting to feel I can't afford that. I want you to try and stop that thought right there in its tracks as best as you can and think, you know what, I can afford this. I can afford this. I desire this, and we'll push forward. And the money will come to you if you start to think that way. And it sounds totally hippie-ish. I get that for people who are practical, but you need to really push forward with it as much as you can. And another way of creating that vibration of abundance is actually to give money away. I'm not saying you go up to anybody and hand out 10 quid. You know, I'm talking about giving money to charity when you can. It doesn't need to be a lot of money. But think about how it's going to make you feel when you've done that, because it's a good thing to do. Or tip your waiter or your taxi man just a little bit more than you normally would. Don't be mean. But coming from a Scot, most people will find that hard to believe, because most people say us Scots have got deep pockets, and we don't put our hands in them very often. But you know, really try your best to just be a little bit more generous where you can, and if it's worthy, obviously, as I say, don't just give money away for nothing. But you know, think about how it's going to make you feel. Is it going to give you a good vibration? Yes, it is. So it's going to reinforce your positivity. So would you agree with that, Robin? Would you say that that's a good concept?
Oh, I completely agree. And somebody once told me, what you give out, you get 10% back, you know, or 10 times back, I mean. So, you know, just an extra dollar might change somebody's complete life. And that's what I always try to think. You know, my husband and I always argue about tipping people. He says I tip way too much. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I don't know what this person's doing all day. I don't know what these other tables are giving her. You know, she was good with us, so she deserves a little extra money. And so I always try to do a little extra.
So there are some challenges you guys might come up against other than the scarcity mentality. And the first one is, as you change, your friends might notice. So, harking back to what I said right at the start, is that everybody's pre-programmed to kind of be in that negative mindset of moaning, gossiping, you know, complaining, negative sort of place. And if you start going in there all happy as Larry, and your friends might notice. Some of them, believe this or not, guys, some of them may say thank God, because they don't actually want to be complaining either. But some of them may reject that slightly because they don't understand what path you're on. I'm not saying you should by any means dump your friends. I think what you need to do is tell them what you're doing. Tell them you're on a different path, and this is what you're attempting to do, and you're attempting to change your mindset and your vibration and all that kind of thing. Some of them may still reject that idea, and that's okay. I think what you have to understand is that everybody's entitled to create their own future, their own path. and sometimes people just will create a negative one, and you have to accept that. You have to be okay with that. But what I would do is that you don't go and say to people, oh, this is the way I think, and the way you think is wrong. What you need to do is just change the subject. So if somebody's being really negative and you don't want to be listening to it, just politely change the subject. It's not something that I've come across yet, because my friends are pretty positive, but I've yet to come across where there maybe is one having a bit of a moan and how I'm going to handle it. I will be trying to just deviate that subject a little bit. How would you handle that, Robin? Would you say that was the right way to do it, or have you got a different suggestion?
No, I think the playway is perfect. I've actually dealt with that a lot with my in-laws, who are, I call them the negative Nellies. They are. Everything is negative. Everything goes wrong. It's just everything in the world is negative. And like you say, I just change the subject, And one time, they actually said to me, they're like, why are you always positive? Everything about you is positive. Everything you try to put a positive spin on everything. And I was like, why would you want to live any other way? You woke up, you're breathing, you put a smile on your face, nobody cares if you have a frown on your face. If they have a smile on your face, even if you're upset or something like that, and you have a smile on your face, nobody's going to know it. So they're not going to ask you about it. So you're not dwelling on it even more, so just change the subject. And I always say, they're not the one paying my bills. So if my mindset is helping me pay my bills and live the life I want, they're not paying it. So just move on.
It's almost the same concept as taking advice from broke friends.
Exactly. Yes.
Advice on your business from friends that are broke.
Exactly. You shouldn't do this. Yeah, well, you're working 80 hours a week,
So my main tip to everyone on this is, change the subject. The other thing is you want to go out there and try and keep everybody uplifted. Everybody that you speak to in a day, try and leave them in a better state of mind than you met them. So this may just be something as really simple as paying somebody a compliment. They may not accept a compliment, as we just touched on earlier, but, again, it comes back to, if you make somebody else feel good, it's going to make you feel good that you made them feel good, and it causes a positive vibration, and that's all going to come back to you guys. So start paying, that's another challenge for you guys to add to your 100-day challenge, is to start paying people compliments. Don't look at somebody and think, how am I selling you something? Look at them and say, I like your glasses, or I like your hair, or, you look pretty today, or, whatever. It's not be false about it, but, just be nice. So the biggest rejection, I think, that most people are going to struggle with, the biggest problem most people are going to struggle with is rejection, is the no's, I guess. So yes. You guys are active. Remember, this whole concept is adding on to your action. So you still need to be picking up that phone. You still need to be talking to people, all these sorts of things. And you guys are going to get no's. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. So how do you handle the no's? That is, how do you not let that completely destroy any mindset that you have? And for me, it's don't be emotionally connected. I don't know if you would agree with that, Robin.
I completely agree. Yes, definitely.
So again, it's linking back to what we were speaking about earlier about fear of rejection. So instead of thinking, I'm going to be rejected by this person, go in with a mindset of, I'm going to make a sign up here, because you're going in with a positive mindset. It's going to attract that back to you, or I'm going to make a sale, depends what you're talking to the person about. And if you get a no, you just go, awesome, next. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. I mean,
awesome, next.
Exactly. So, move on. Next person, there's enough people to talk to. You'll never talk to everybody in the world.
Definitely.
That's what I always feel.
And I think the thing is if you have a mindset and you have a desire to build a really big business, so thousands of people in your downline, it doesn't matter if you're just getting started and that almost seems unrealistic. Don't think about it as being unrealistic. Think about it as, this is what my goal is to have a team of thousands, maybe even millions. The one or twos or threes no's are not going to be as hurtful as because you've got a bigger vision in mind for where you're going. So whereas if you've only got a vision of building a team of 10, then 1, 2, or 3 no's is probably quite painful. So I think just have that disconnect from it, that at the end of the day, you're not a salesperson, you're an information provider. You're providing a solution to somebody's pain. If you're going in there selling, yes, you might be selling a coaching program, or you might be selling an affiliate product, or you may be selling a juicy juice or a grapey grape or whatever it is you're selling. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be selling it as a product, you should be selling it as a solution to a problem. So if that person wants your help, then great. If the person doesn't want your help, then you just move on to find somebody who wants your help. And I think that's the way I now look at it. I don't kind of look at it as a sales concept, I look at it as a helping context. And I provide information, especially when I'm recruiting. I provide information to help you with your lifestyle. Do you want it or do you not want it?
Exactly. It's their loss if they don't take it.
Exactly. And remember that most people take 8 exposures to something before they buy. So a no is not always a no. It may just be a not now. So, you know, don't get too hung up on that. I think the other thing is learning to ignore your senses. And it sounds a bit stupid, but when you feel like you want to cry, you need to learn to smile. Yeah. So
exactly.
For me, like, how do you deal with stress and anxiety, Robin?
Honestly, I close the computer and I get away, and usually I take my son to the park and really kind of focus on, he's my why, my family's my why, and that's what I'll do. And just a real quick story. A couple weeks ago, you want to talk about no's? I had like 30 people tell me no about something new. And it was my son's birthday weekend, and I snapped at my son, and I was like, oh my, it's his birthday. And I snapped at him because I was upset with my business. I closed my computer and I took the whole weekend off, which I never do. I did not open it. I did not check my phone. I did not do anything. I focused 100% on my family. I came back on Monday and I signed up 5 people right away. Yeah. So it was just exactly what you needed. Like I had to get away from it. It was bad, mentally bad, you know, and it was actually affecting me physically, you know, and that's what I do. I just get away and go back. You were talking about your vision board earlier. You know, I have a vision book, and I open it up and I start flipping through it and start picturing where are we going to be, you know, barbecuing in the backyard and like you said, smelling the burgers and everything, you know.
Great. I mean, the other trick that I learned, I have done that too, and I think we had the same experience in the same weekend actually, from what
probably.
And I was having a bit of a meltdown and decided to shut it down for a few hours because I just needed to get away. And it does do the world of good, because you guys, you can work yourselves into the ground just too much, especially if you're juggling lots of things going on. And you know, just take some time out, because it'll increase your creativity, it'll increase your energy levels, and it'll just reduce the stress levels. You may think, how can taking time out reduce my stress level when I've got this amount to do? But it really, really will just refocus you, and you'll come back and boom, it'll work. The other thing is, I try and tell myself when I'm getting stressed, everything's perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. And you shouldn't strive for perfection. We all talked about that hundreds of times before. But if everything is perfect, it's going to be, instead of thinking negatively, like this is not working, I even found myself doing it today at work. I was like, this is a nightmare. I'm never going to get all this done. And I just took a step back and I thought, you know what, everything's perfect. It's fine. It'll all fall together. And it'll probably will tomorrow. All fall together. My positive mind on it is it's all going to be fine. All going to be good. So it's about creating that positive vibration again. And, you know, just don't allow stress and anxiety to control your feelings and your thoughts. So I've got a golden nugget for you guys that I learned myself very recently. And it kind of ties into the miracle morning. But basically, I want you to start being a data collector. And what I mean by that is I don't want you collecting heaps of stuff. In your mind, I want you to start looking around you and start picking out things that you want. So life is a buffet, right, guys? You wouldn't go up to a buffet, walk past a plate of slimy spinach and moan about it and complain about it. You would just pass it by and pick something you like and then focus on the food you wanted. So we start to create life like that. Pick what you like, ignore what you don't, and focus on the good stuff. So I want you to start thinking about this data collection. When you see a Lamborghini drive, if you're a car person, you see a Lamborghini driving past you, I want you to start thinking, I can afford that. Mental image, log it. Go on about your day. People you meet, you like. I want this person in my life more. I like that person. Doesn't need to be something physical. It can be an emotion. It can be something you listen to. Just start collecting good, happy thoughts and good, happy desires. And then I want you to create a space in your house if you can. And I know this is hard for some people. It's certainly hard for me. But I want you to create what we call a workshop. And it's somewhere you're going to go every day. And you're going to spend 10 to 15 minutes. And you can dance, you can sing, just let go completely. You can meditate, you can do whatever makes you happy. For me, I'm a dancer. I just put some music on and dance about the house probably. And it's a safe place. You're not going to get distracted. And I want you to then, once you've had your 5-minute moment of just letting go, I want you to process the data you've collected that day. And I want you to just really focus on it and really think about it. And this is your little workshop. So I saw that Lamborghini. It was yellow. It looked cool. It had great wheels. I'm going to have one of those. I met Robin today. She was fantastic. I want Robin in my life. Great. I listened to Ray Higdon podcast. He told me X, Y, and Z, and this is fantastic. I'm going to start implementing it. And promise to come back every day. Only a 10-minute, 15-minute thing every single day on top of your miracle morning. If you're a morning person, just add it onto your morning thing. If you're an evening person, do it before bed. If you're just one of these people like me that just has to grab some time, just grab some time. And just make the space yours. Make it somewhere you feel comfy and you're happy and you can really, really connect with yourself and just let go and totally focus on everything you're collecting in your head. Because if you've got a lot of information going on, you see a lot of things. I mean, we're 90% visual guys. So everything you see is like snap, 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 snap in your brain, and all these pictures are being kind of stored in your brain. So you want to be trying to fill it with as many positive pictures, and by refocusing on those positive pictures you caught, you're going to actually push that into your desires and push it into your positivity, and it's going to increase your vibrations and your energy and pull back to you what you did, what you want, really. So is that something you guys think you could do? Do you want to try that? Add it to your 100-day challenge?
I definitely will be adding that. That's a great idea, because I just, like you said, I fill it in where I can, but I like that idea of having a certain space to go to.
And I've got one last tip, which I meant to cover earlier, but I can skip past it. It's about incantations, which, again, you can do this hundreds of times a day. It's kind of linked back to that I am phrase. Doesn't need to just be in your miracle morning. I want you to think about something that you're thankful for. And I want you to start saying, I am thankful for. Now, I've got an example of this. I listened to this on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I started implementing, I am thankful for my wealth and abundance. And I said it over and over and over. And sometimes out loud, sometimes just in my head. I am thankful for my wealth and abundance, thankful for my wealth and abundance. My business grew 150% that weekend.
Yay!
Didn't change anything. I didn't change how I speak to people. I didn't change the action that I'm taking. But because I had projected that I am wealthy and abundant, I saw massive growth in my business. So
I have pretty much exactly what you're saying. I call it my money mantras.
Yeah.
And I actually have it on our bedroom door on the inside. And it's the last thing we see when we close the door and the first thing we see before we come out, into the house. And my husband and I both stand there and say it. And I completely agree. It just changes everything when you start actively out loud, like you said, to yourself, reading these.
Yeah. Fantastic news. But, it doesn't need to be about money, guys. It can be about anything in your life that you want to improve. And you can have several of them on the go at once. So, I am grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my health. Whatever you need to focus on at that particular time in life. And it will really, honestly, it does work. I was just blown away that this one little phrase seems to have done something invisible to me suddenly. Sale of affiliate products. And I was like, what? Oh, kind of thing. And my mentor, Gavin's like, you're on fire today. I was like, well, yeah. But I mean, again, I didn't ever feel like I was selling anything. I just felt like I was helping people. So I think the combination of all of that worked so well for me. So I realised we're running over time. So was there any questions? And nothing popped up. So I'm going to presume that there are no questions. So if you have got any questions, guys, most of you are in my community. And if you're not in my community, you'll be in Networking Superstars community by now. So please pop any questions you have in that. And I'm going to leave you all with the mantra of get on the Miracle Morning, start being grateful, start having positive thoughts, reduce your negativity and your gossip, and just generally kick the wall, basically.
And show Laura some love on our blab here. You know, first one, I think she did an outstanding job. Way to go.
Do you have any last words of wisdom, Robin, that you want to share with these guys?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, just do it. You know, I mean, people forget about mindset a lot. They're given a list of instructions of what to do daily and actions and actions and actions. And like you said, two people can do the exact same thing. And if one person visualizes they're going to win or they're going to get that gold medal in their hand, there's probably a pretty good chance they're going to. If you're in the U.S. right now, I'm in New Jersey. Villanova just recently won the NCAA championship basketball game. I don't know anything about it, but I was watching on the news. The coach actually just said that he saw day one, we were going to win. And he told his team, he said, we're going to win. We are going to win. And they did. So, you know, it works.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to let you go, Robin, because I'm ticking on time here. And thank you guys for all being here. As I say, come and give me some feedback in the group and any questions I'm happy to ask. Okay, I'm going to kick you out now, Robin. Sorry.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.